Good day, this is Professor Will, CBMD PhD. Today is Wednesday, March 4th, 2020. It is 1:15:59 seconds a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today we made a fascinating discovery in the scientific nature of biology. So let's take a look here at what we discovered. Non-oxygen breathing animal discovered. The tiny relative of the jellyfish is parasitic and dwells in salmon tissue. Date February 25th, 2020. Source American Friends at Tel Aviv University. Summary. Scientists have discovered a new non-oxygen breathing animal. The tiny less than 10-celled parasitic demonstrates that evolution can go in strange directions, the researchers say. Researchers at Tel Aviv University, TAU, have discovered a non-oxygen breathing animal. The unexpected finding changes one of science's assumptions about the animal world. The tiny less than 10-celled parasitic Hennegia salmonica lives in salmon mussel. As it evolved, the animal, which is myxozoan, relative of jellyfish and corals, gave up breathing and consuming oxygen to produce energy. Aerobic respiration was thought to be ubiquitous in animals, but now we confirm that this is not the case. Researchers' discoveries show that evolution can go in strange directions. Aerobic respiration is a major source of energy, and yet we found an animal that gave up this critical pathway. Some other organisms like fungi, amoebas, or ciliate lineages in anaerobic environments have lost the ability to breathe over time. A new study demonstrates that the same can happen to an animal, possibly because the parasite happens to live in an anaerobic environment. Its genome was sequenced along with those other myxozoan fish parasites as part of research supported by the U.S.-Israel Bionational Science Foundation and researchers and doctors. The parasitic's anaerobic nature was an accidental discovery. While assembling the Hennegia genome, researchers found that it did not include a mitochondria genome. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell where oxygen is captured to make energy, so its absence indicated that the animal was not breathing oxygen. Until the new discovery, there was debate regarding the possibility that organisms belonging to the animal kingdom could survive in anaerobic environment. The assumption that all animals are breathing oxygen was based, among other things, on the first that animals are multicellular. Highly developed organisms which first appeared on Earth when oxygen levels rose. It is not yet clear to us how the parasite generates energy. Researchers say it may be drawing it from the surrounding fish cells, or it may have a different type of respiration such as oxygen-free breathing, which typically characterizes anaerobic non-animal organisms. It is generally thought that during evolution organisms become more and more complex, and that simple single-cell or few-celled organisms are the ancestors of complex organisms. But here right before us is an animal whose evolutionary process is the opposite. Living in an oxygen-free environment, it has shed unnecessary genes responsible for aerobic respiration and become an even simpler organism. What is aerobic and anaerobic? Aerobic means with oxygen, and anaerobic means without oxygen. Anaerobic exercise is the type where you get out of breath in just a few moments, like when you lift weights for improving strength, when you sprint, or when you climb a long flight of stairs. Aerobic means relating to, involving or requiring free oxygen, and refers to the use of oxygen to adequately meet energy demands during exercise via aerobic metabolism. What is aerobic biology? Adjective, 1 of pertaining to, having or requiring the presence of air or free oxygen. 2. Biology, requiring air or oxygen for life or survival, used especially to refer to aerobic bacteria. 3. Physiology, pertaining to respiration occurring in the presence of oxygen, as aerobic respiration. What is considered aerobic exercise? Aerobic exercise is any type of cardiovascular conditioning. It can include activities like brisk walking, swimming, running, or cycling. You probably know it as cardio. By definition, aerobic exercise means with oxygen. Your breathing and heart rate will increase during aerobic activities. Are push-ups aerobic or anaerobic? Though brisk walking or riding a bike are forms of aerobic exercises, sprinting is included under the anaerobic exercise category because it demands high-intensity work that can only be briefly sustained. Other anaerobic exercises include push-ups, squats, and pull-ups. Are planks aerobic or anaerobic? Holding a plank is an example of an isometric exercise. Even though anaerobic exercise technically means exercise without oxygen, you wouldn't last very long during an anaerobic workout if you stop breathing. Why is it called aerobic? Respiration using oxygen to break down food molecules is called aerobic respiration. Aero means air, which contains oxygen, leading to the name aerobic respiration. Glucose is oxidized to release its energy, which is then stored in ATP molecules. Are humans aerobic? Oxygen is required for aerobic respiration. Carbon dioxide is a byproduct of aerobic respiration in humans. Yes, when humans and other animals lack sufficient oxygen, they'll create ATP through a form of anaerobic respiration that produces lactic acid as a byproduct. What are the two types of fermentation? The two most common types of fermentation are 1. Alcoholic fermentation and 2. Lactic acid fermentation. 1. Alcoholic fermentation. The type of fermentation in which ethyl alcohol is the main end product. This is very common in yeast, unicellular fungus, and also seen in some bacteria. How do you explain aerobic respiration? Aerobic respiration is a process of producing cellular energy involving oxygen. Cells break down food in the mitochondria in a long, multi-step process that produces roughly 36 ATP. The first step is glycolysis, the second is the citric acid cycle, and the third is the electron transport system. How is lactic acid removed? When a period of exercise is over, lactic acid must be removed. Lactic acid is taken to the liver by the blood, and either oxidized to carbon dioxide and water, or converted to glucose, then glycogen. Glycogen levels in the liver and muscles can then be restored. Where are the aerobic bacteria found in the body? Any aerobic bacteria are prevalent among the bacterial populations of the human body, particularly on mucous membrane surfaces. The major sites with rich anaerobic normal microflora are the mouth, the gastrointestinal tract, and the female genital tract. This is the real benefit of fermentation. Fermentation predigests foods, making nutrients more bioavailable. In many cases, fermentation generates additional nutrients or removes anti-nutrients or toxins. Ferments with live lactic acid producing bacteria intact are especially supportive of digestive health, immune function, and general well-being. Good day, this is Professor Will, CBMD PhD. I just want to say thank you for embarking on this exciting endeavor with me. I hope you enjoyed listening and have a great day.